Nothing beats a heartwarming romance anime to make you feel at ease and make you smile like a fool. So here are the top 10 wholesome romance anime to watch that'll melt your heart. Number 10, My Tiny Senpai.
おはようございます。
先輩、
はい。
何してるんですか？
そのペンが落ちて。
今すぐどきますんで。
Imagine if your female colleague was a tiny clingy cutie who wanted to spoil you all the time. That's the situation that Shinozaki Takuma faces every day at his new job. Takuma wants to prove himself at his new company, but Shiori has never had a junior coworker before and is excited to guide and support him. As you can guess, it doesn't take long for them to fall in love.
よかったら一緒に入っていきませんか？
Central to the show's appeal is the slow burn romance between Shiori and Shinozaki. This delicate balance between everyday office life and budding romance makes My Tiny Senpai an engaging and relatable watch. If you found enjoyment in anime with workplace settings and romantic elements, My Tiny Senpai might be the one for you, offering a fresh take on a well-known concept. Number 9, Arahin-san wa Hakanarani.
アレンさん、どうしたの？
初めて。
What happens when you put two awkward characters in the same classroom? Perhaps they'll spend some quality time together, or they just won't talk at all. The story follows the unpredictable daily life of the short and quiet Reina Aharon and Raidao, who sits next to her. Aharon isn't good at judging personal space, and Raidao initially feels a gap between them. One day when Raidao picks up the eraser that Aharon dropped, the distance between them suddenly becomes too close, but still awkward.
何か変わった。
別にいつもと変わらないよ。
太った。
There's too much comedy where you might question the author's intentions in creating this series. The answer is straightforward, pure comedy. The show's really popular despite lacking a defined plot, and it even strays away from the classic romance plot. But that's perfectly fine. It's all about having fun. Aharon-san wa Hakarani is just a solid, wholesome romance anime that loves being off the hook. Number 8, A Galaxy Next Door.
泣いてないです。
しかし、では触れてもいいですか？
え？
Kids, that's enough because the adults will take the lead. After his father's sudden death, Ichiru Kuga becomes the guardian of his two siblings. Juggling increasing responsibilities and deadlines, especially after losing his last two assistants to pursue their dreams, it's kind of the end of the line for him. Just when hope seems lost, the stunning and highly capable Shiori Goshiki applies to be his new assistant.
どうですか？
どうって制服っぽいですね。
見えますか？
This is the anime for those people who are sick of seeing high schoolers be awkward and cringy. Don't get us wrong, high school romances are sweet, but as we get older, it's easier to relate to people who are our age and the things they're going through. Not only that, this series is wholesome, simple, and straightforward, which might appeal to people who just need some relaxation without needing the brain power to understand the story. Number 7, Wagnaria.
何？
今日はなんか可愛いですね。そのヘアピン。
If an anime doesn't have a plot, but a lot of people still watch it, you know it's good. Set in a family restaurant in Hokkaido, the northern prefecture of Japan, our boy Sota Tanakashi works part-time with his odd co-workers Papura Taneshima, a high school girl who, despite being a year older than Sota, is easily mistaken for a middle schooler, Koyoko Shirafuji, the 28-year-old store manager who's just as lazy as you.
とりあえずですね、今日から一緒に帰りましょう。最終目標、俺と手をつないでどっかに行く。
それはもしやデート？
Clearly, this series just makes you feel sweet and playful like you were a child. With solid connections to the ordinary office grind that we always hate, it highlights the enjoyable aspects of those things. Wagnaria doesn't only show us how fun working at a restaurant can be, but it also has unique characters that'll make you love this series even more. It just makes life look a bit easier instead of being depressed most of the time. Number 6, I can't understand what my husband's saying.
私そういうの全くわからないんだけどさ、面白いの？
面白い。
真っ白たんは俺の嫁。
お前の嫁は私だろ。
Remember when you first had that awkward middle school love? Well, Kaoru is a serious office lady who's passionate about her job. Her husband, Hajime, on the other hand, is a hardcore otaku who lives in a nearly shut-in lifestyle. So what happens when a hard worker and a neat otaku get married?
こういうのリビングに置くなよ。しまいには泣くぞ。
やだ、使ってから片すの忘れてた。
読むじゃなく使った。
It's kinda hard to pull off a story like this, but this series actually does it well. Despite its brief 3-minute episodes, it's better than most slice-of-life shows that have a full episode. Also, you don't always see otaku culture have a lot of drama, apart from weebs discussing how good AOT's ending is, but this anime could do it. It's sorta like Watakoi, but a bit more mature. Just give it a watch and you'll see what I'm talking about. Number 5, Tsukiga Kiri.
びっくりした。
ごめん。見せて見せて。おお。
いいねいいね。
Tired of being able to predict how an anime ends? Well, here's one for you. A romance develops between two shy third-year middle school students. Kotaro Azumi and Akane Mizuno become third-year students at middle school and are classmates for the first time. These two, along with fellow classmates Chenasu Nishiro and Takumi Hira, relate to their peers through mutual understanding and feelings. But that never happens in real life.
また来よ。
二人で。
The pacing of the show is slow, and some might not like that, but it's actually its strongest aspect. There's even some occasional twists that make it even more charming. This anime stands out as a potential hidden gem in the 2017 romance genre because it's so realistic, especially when we're talking about love stories based in middle school. Number 4, Taisho Otame Fairy Tale.
今日でって。今日誕生日だったのか？
はい。私は。 このまま玉彦様の妻になってもいいのですよね。
Okay, guys, don't call the FBI just yet because I promise she's not a kid. Or is she? Our boy, Tamahiko Shima, is a young man who lost the use of his right hand in an accident and now lives in a rural area of Chiba Prefecture to take care of his health. One day, he meets the pure and faithful Yuzuki who Tamahiko's father bought to be Tamahiko's wife. Through this meeting, the pessimistic and isolated Tamahiko begins to change.
ここ家じゃないぞ。
Most historical theme shows are often talked about for their battles, history, and overall cultural context. It's not too often that romance is a central part of the show's context, but not this one. The heart of the series is the theme of love, but the storytelling itself commits to character building, and I know we all love that. Number 3, the Ice Guy and his cool female colleague.
難しいな、関西弁。
俺は冬月さんのそういうとこめっちゃ好きやねん。
Yeah, they weren't kidding when they said he was the ice guy. This is because Himuro-kun involuntarily creates blizzard conditions for himself and anyone in his vicinity. Which, I mean, is a pretty cool power if it doesn't activate whenever you're nervous. During one such incident on the first day of his new job, Himuro-kun encounters our girl Fuyutsuki-san, who helps him break out of this curse, and lucky for him, Fuyutsuki-san is his new coworker.
何か、氷室くん、いつもは私よりずっと大きいのに。 今日はこんなに小さくて可愛い。
The vibe of this anime could be described in one word: relaxing. Even if the concept is about a guy that has the powers of God falling in love in his office, this romance anime stands out as one of the most authentic portrayals of romance. It has genuine and heartwarming vibes, making it an absolute delight to watch, and it just makes me smile. Number 2, Science Fell in Love, so I tried to prove it.
木村君も私が夢に出てきたことがあるって言ってたわよね。夢の中で私と何があったの？
その情報は必要か？
正確なデータは多くて困ることはないでしょ。
According to science, the perfect date and the perfect moment exists. One day, the bold and beautiful Ayame Himuro outwardly declares that she's in love with Shinya Yukimura, her fellow logical and level-headed scientist. Acknowledging his own lack of experience with romance, Yukimura questions what factors make up love in the first place and whether he's in love with Himuro or not. It's like Steins Gate, but they do experiments that don't really make sense.
やがったこの女。どうする？実験を中止するか。幸せそうな顔しやがって。何の成分だこの甘い香りは。
The dynamic relationship between the two main characters was good, but what truly made the show good was how it mixed science-related themes. Even if you're not particularly interested in science, the way they added it is simple enough that it doesn't overshadow the central romance. For science enthusiasts, this show is like their holy grail. It might even give you an idea of how you can get a girlfriend. Number 1, Snow White with the red hair.
少しだけ一緒にいてくれないかな。
Can't believe they animated Snow White. Just kidding. It actually follows Shirayuki, who was a girl born with unique apple red hair. With nowhere else to go, Shirayuki cuts her hair and escapes to a neighboring country. While traversing through the forest, she meets a young boy Zen, who helps her after she boldly cures his wounds, but then gets poisoned by an apple given to Shirayuki. But she's not safe anymore.
そこで何してんだ？まさかさっきの聞いて。
Unlike the usual cliche romance anime where the girl meets the boy, gets infatuated, or revolves around ecchi stereotypes, this anime takes a different approach. The romantic elements are exceptionally pure and innocent here. Characters interact without relying on cliche or ecchi fan service. The interaction between them brings a breath of fresh air. It's so wholesome that you'll think you were secured to go to heaven at one point, and that's why it's number 1 in our list of the top 10 wholesome romance anime to watch.